come back, 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 back to your love. I come back, back, back to you. I know that you're the one who leads me astray, but I can never live that way.
Let's dive into your career as an artist, Evelyne. Where are you at with, how long have you been doing music for in the first place?
I mean, it depends, right? Like, I started studying songwriting just 2 years ago is when I started like officially being like, I'm actually going to do this.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
That's crazy for what you sound like.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work. But I think, I mean, most of us...
That ages ago. I'd have been like, 2 years?
Really? You mean, is that why you're so shit?
No, I'd have been like, wow, 2 years.
No, I mean, I've been writing since I was a kid. But,
okay, so you just lied then? So you only took the course 2 years ago?
Yeah, I started and then I stopped the course actually, like many things in my life. And
do you think the course was actually servicing you?
No, you know what, I think it was. I think the course is really good, especially if you're not entirely sure where you want to go, but it didn't take me very long to figure out, actually, there's certain things that I want to achieve, so I'm not going to wait to do them, I'm going to do them. So.
I think that's good then.
Yeah.
No point staying in something you don't think is the thing servicing you. You know?
Yeah, I think you have to just go for it.
Yeah. So that's 2 years ago, and then so your entire run as three as an artist now as Evelyne has been just 3 years.
Yeah, that's right, and it's taken a lot of like working things out. You know, it started out super rough, and I had no idea what I was doing. And to be honest, I probably still don't have a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, but now you've got songs that are like actually like really good songs.
Thank you.
So, how did you get their songs to sound as good? We'll play some songs in and out of this. So, but
okay.
How did you get your songs sounding so kind of like so red? Like sounding kind of you know, there's that level of when you hear a song, like, oh, check out my shit, and it's like, all right, you know, so you always kind of feel bad. It's like, okay, you need a couple more years of development.
Yeah.
You know, learning how to write. You know, there is a thing called a chorus, you know, like that. But like,
these lyrics that.
Yeah, yours seem to be in the format and actually catchy. So
thank you.
The hardest thing to get is like, it's easy to get in format, but to actually get things to be catchy.
Yeah.
Is the game.
Yeah, well, I think that a lot of what we do in the industry is about surrounding ourselves with the right people. And when I first started, I met this extraordinary young guy called Siva. He's an artist as well. And we were writing for this band, and I was listening to what he was doing, and I just went like, who made you? Like I just knew he had something really special, and to this day I stuck with it, and we started writing together the record a year ago, last week, a year ago. And you know, he's developed massively, but I think he's really lent to that sound that I've been curating. He was 17 when I met him.
Wow.
He's 21. He just turned, and he's 21 in November.
Yeah. So the two of you, that's really sweet, because the two of you are kind of learning together, learning your craft together.
Yeah, hugely.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's got some amazing people around him as well who've helped him hone his talent. You'll hear from him. I think that he has a lot to do with it, and I think it took a lot of writing some really shit songs and trying to figure out, you know, what's going on out there and where do I fit in. But that takes a lot of...
That's something that a lot of people don't understand the value of, is that there's a lot of value in being shit.
Oh, yeah.
And knowing that you are.
You have to be shit.
Like, oh man, you think the best way to increase, I think, and get better is, which just sounds like you knew, especially when you left the kind of course, really, is because you know where you're going, what you want to sound like.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do know that and you're really honest with what you're trying to achieve, then you know how far off you are if you hear your songs back. There's a difference between like bad recording or whatever. You can understand where a demo sounds bad, but if you can hear that, oh, I'm not quite there, or I'm nowhere near, it's like the best thing for you.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't think I really knew how bad I was until I like started, you know, taking myself seriously.
Yeah.
I think that was the first thing.
That? Like, what would you say is starting to take yourself seriously? What was the moment or the realization behind it?
I think it was that if you want to really do this, even if you have moments of doubt or crippling self-doubt as most of us have. I think that if you're going to take a gamble, you really, really, really have to be willing to go all in. You have to go all in, no holds barred. Even if you're like, but I'm so shit, you just have to like have some pig-headed belief that maybe you could be good enough if you keep working at it. And that's, I'll be saying a different thing in 3 years' time. I'll be like, whoa, I was so shit. Do you remember when we spoke?
I don't think it ever goes away though. Like, it's amazing that you, if any way that you could have the humility to look at, even when you make it like your favorite record, if you make a great record, like to have the feeling still. And people say this is like crazy because I've gone through it my whole career. But I think if you should enjoy it because you're like, oh God, I'm so happy with that I'm sounding like this. But also like, I'm so not there yet. Like to actually know that on every single time. I think that's really cool. And as you know, I was out riding in Boston recently, and there were some points. I have this really bad habit of getting into the vocal booth and tearing myself to pieces. Just going off. Just
literally, I suddenly get in my head and I'm not with the music. And I called one of my mentors and I just said, look, I'm killing myself here. I'm actually like destroying my own music. I'm kind of feels like I'm strangling everything that I'm doing. He just said, you got to step back and you've got to because I think there's a difference between working really hard at something and just, overkill. And
music's one of the most unforgiving when you can't hear something, when you just, and it can be the most simple, obvious thing that a day later you probably hear and be like, what? It's so obvious. In the moment, that the panic and the kind of fear and the anger and the annoyance just blocks everything.
And the reaffirmation for yourself that I'm not good enough. What am I
struggle.
not? You can relate, right? I mean, you're a musician. We all hate ourselves on some level.
And it's actually like this weirdly beautiful thing. But I think musicians go through, and it's like when you go into that vocal booth and you have those moments where you're like, you go in at the start of the day and you're like, okay, and I've got this, I've got it off, I figured out, I can do this, and then I'm going to do these vocals, and I'm going to do this, and I know all the harmonies, and then something doesn't work. Everything's gone.
And it all falls apart.
And then now, what are you going to do? You're 20 minutes in. You're not even warmed up properly yet. And that's the good thing about mentors and good people in studios, people who have done it over and over and over. They'll know that like we're an hour in. Nothing good's gonna happen in the first hour. Like you need to be singing for a while. Like you need to be like confident. That's why the best producers and engineers and people are just like people who, even if something
they can calm you down
at the start, they're just like, oh no, that was really cool. Like let's do a bunch of them because that's sounding cool. Or we're getting to let's
do that dying cat sound again. I really like that. And you're like, really? Do you really?
Yeah, the reality is like you're just dreadful, but at least they know in the start of the day,
and they're encouraging.
That it's everything's frozen. Like you wouldn't be a you wouldn't wake up an Olympic athlete and be like, all right, go and do the 100 meters right now.
No.
I bet my fucking my great grandmother could probably beat them. If you warmed up for probably wouldn't put any money on it. But,
your poor grandmother.
But that kind of battle that you, if you are a musician, that battle every day that you go through. It seems like, what can you moan about? Like you're in recording in a great studio.
It's very self-absorbed. It's very self-absorbed.
But it is such an inner, introspective, mental battle.
You make your claim that I've played my part, and I cannot admit to what I started. Now I can only feel the pain, and I'll never be the same. You're just stripping me bare, and I'll never pray to God, even when I've gone beyond. You just stripping me bare.
So how did it start to click then when you actually started noticing that you did actually have some decent songs and you're like, okay, I'm gonna pour everything I have into this and I'm gonna go all in. What was that, how did that click for you? Was there a moment, or was it just like, I'm already on this journey, I'm just going to push through?
Yeah, so a year, as I said, a year ago was when we really discovered that sound. We were in studio, we were writing, me and Siva, and he's always such a great cheerleader as well. And we started writing something, and I didn't really know what I was writing. And we started putting down, demo vocals, and I stopped halfway through, and I just went, oh my God, like I get what I just wrote about. And he said, I think we just maybe found what it is that you're trying to say. Thing. And from there, it just built on that. So I made playlists upon playlists of, and I think that was, I'm going a bit off topic as I always do. I think I think that was when I realized, and my best friend as well, she was just like, you really have to do this. And if you don't take yourself seriously, you're an idiot. And I think that goes for anyone in or out of music. You do have to take yourself a bit seriously and not seriously. But I think...
it's funny, I remember when you played me a few songs, we just sat down and we were just...
around the corner.
Playing some music. That's what musicians do, and they should do that, is of different genres as well. Specifically, I think it's always of value to play, if you're from different genres, to play music to each other, especially if you know music. But what I noticed was that some of the demos were actually
chuck a master on them.
Well, the thing is, because some of them were just really good,
nice.
and they were really I would have loved to have heard some of my favorite singers. I would have loved to have heard like a demo before it was finished, because there's a process of something being finished. That it's like building anything really. Like some of the good gets scraped out.
It can do. It can do.
Like when you're doing a painting and you paint over it and paint over it, and there might be one thing that actually you really love, but you painted over it now. Now you got to paint that thing back. And the process is like that.
And it becomes less authentic.
And you can really
feel it.
File, but actually some of the, I remember thinking that there was one demo that was really spacious and plain, and the vocals were, you could hear there were demo vocals, but it fit because of the sound was there. I don't know if that's the same, what you were talking about, but it did seem like there was definitely something there. It wasn't like, it sounds like it was being worked on, but I would love if people started just releasing like that, just because it would be almost like, damn.
I mean, I thought about releasing just a track of just stupid outtakes from some of those recordings, because they were awful. Like, there were moments that you kind of hear yourself and you're like, why are you doing this?
Don't you think every album,
get someone else to sing?
Like movies have, films at the end have the outtake, the show. I think that albums should have that at the end, like you hear bad takes.
But then I thought that might devalue, the product slightly, so it wasn't,
Nowadays, you do a live show and someone films it, and it's like, oh my God, that's what they sound like live. Listen, Dickweed, everyone sounds shit live. We're dealing with a lot of issues to sound good live.
It's not easy. And but going back to that, and thank you for the compliment. I mean, I really think that Siva had a lot to do with that, and he's developed so much as well. We've both developed together massively, and I'm so much more producing than I was before, my own stuff. But he really, really is the one who, I guess, kind of prettied up those demos and kind of made me really kind of believe in myself, because I suddenly heard it and I was like, you know what, this could actually be okay. Like, this could work. So I think that he was probably the one. What you heard was a lot of that was really down to his talent and how we click.
Well, that's really cool, because normally when you, from kind of music business point of view, when you hear people working on something, they can be far off of the target, but as long as it sounds like it's kind of something's there, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, because in reality anything can work. You can make bad songs and they can kind of work, but it's just like when you actually hear okay, this is just genuinely real talent, then this is good. So what was the you ended up going into Boston. I mean, this is all stuff that doesn't sound like you're just kind of we're just a group working together and we're just just an artist. It's like, no, you're actually trying to make a great piece of art. So what's behind trying to make that great piece of art? Because some people would have just even put out demos, or some people would have made a low cost album, and because it's the first one, you can't really be, you can't, your first record can't really be held anything against you for making anything of quality, because
especially if you're doing it independently.
Yeah. But you guys are actually traveling the world, making. And Seaver is in a different. Where is he based?
He's London and Brighton.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I was out there.
So you're going out to Boston, and so it sounds like it's like a really. What is driving the Evelyne train?
I think that I think a lot of it's fear, actually. I think it's fear of not being good enough and of failure. Yeah. And I think that drives the time frame massively, with me being like, no, I still need more time. And I want to hear this, and I want to feel this, and I want to experience this I think as a writer, I'm like, I just want to just get all of that out. But as a producer, you have to be able to be like, stop. Now's when you put down the mic. So I think it's very fear driven. I think that I'm, pretty terrified of not being good enough. But I also think that what the other thing that's driving that is
from what someone else thinks, or from what you feel about yourself.
I don't know. I guess it's probably always a combination of the two. I would have to reflect on that. It's probably what other people think. Maybe I'm that fickle, but I think it's both. I think really it's that self-belief thing. It's the message that you tell yourself when you wake up. Maybe I could be good enough today, and you really want to believe that. Yeah. So it's. But I think the other thing was, and it links back to a question that you asked me that I kind of digressed on, which is that, when I said I'm going to do this, I knew that this was the first time in my life that I could never ever give up, because I quit uni 3 times, and I've quit jobs, and I've been very successful at other things too. But I'm really good at giving up on myself. And this was the point where I just was like, you know what, if you quit, you're an idiot. So hopefully that pig-headedness that I've driven from somewhere within is gonna pay off. But
because the only way to lose in anything is just to give up.
To give up.
The only way, because there's literally no way if you keep going. Because winning in many ways is a subjective thing, especially in an industry like music.
Oh yeah, and that breakthrough is always just over the cusp, you know.
Well, I mean, there's the personal breakthrough, and then there's the actual kind of success breakthrough, and then there's the monetary breakthrough. There's all these different levels of like, wait, when have we made it? At what point? Yeah, but I think that's one of those big, this might sound like a conversation between 2 people about one person's musical journey, but it really does highlight in many ways what so many people in the world go through with that battle, that daily battle. I mean, it doesn't matter. I've done a lot of crazy things, and it doesn't matter what I achieve. The next day I start something new, like a new project. I think I can't do it. I think I'm shit. It doesn't matter what I do. Every single new project, I think, oh, you can't do this. Even if I've just finished one yesterday. A new song, new beat, new whatever. I can't do this.
And then we do stupid things to make ourselves feel better.
And then but then you just do it, and then you get, and as you kind of kill all the voices and noises that out, eventually you start to kind of like, oh, we're actually doing this, and then you do it, and then you finish it, you complete it, and then you're like, oh, next day, I can't do it. Shit. And it's weird that especially in art and music, that we go through that a lot. And the difference between the success and other things, like success in working in film and success working jobs, and these are weird that they don't really have that much value to us as creatives, because we're creatives. We want the creative success. So we could do all these different jobs, like all these different money and all these different things, and just think about how many people in the world are like that. Do you think could you imagine taking someone from a completely different industry out, and they're super just doing their shit, and you take them out and you put them in music, and then they do what you do over 3 years? Imagine how their view of happiness would change, because they're, do you know what I mean? It's weird, we take it so for granted sometimes, but actually we're not just making music in a studio, we're sculpting in ourselves and our self-belief. And I don't think you ever finish that, ever, but not just as a creative. I think as a human being,
is virtually impossible. But I don't know. I mean, I think that a lot of what I've learned in the process and what I've been learning is about the fact that there's choice, and I have a choice to make my life better and more interesting, and I'm not always very good at that. But I think I think sometimes you said something about people kind of being in different jobs, and it kind of made me. I've been in corporate before, and sometimes I felt very stuck, and I think it was when you kind of realize, what, I'm not tied down by this. I just think I am.
Yeah. Because I'm not.
But
doing
it's not
what I
easy.
love every minute, then I'm stuck, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just an inner peace thing. Like maybe you can do things that isn't your favorite thing in the whole wide world, but you have a family and you have dependents and people that you love who rely on you, and just having that happy life is enough to just, I don't know, I'm kind of, I've gone completely off now.
What kind of really want to get on board of, now that we've got that out of the way, what I really want to dive in with you is, because there's something that really jumps out when you hear your music. Now, I've heard your music like sitting together and having it played, but it still hasn't left me what you were singing about. Mm-hmm. So, and that's really weird, because there's this thing that people are trying to get with songs. They're trying to achieve catchiness. They're trying to get the formats out of pop so they can get radio play, even though radio's dead. No one cares about radio anymore. But the people are trying to do things that they've heard, right?
Sure.
What you're naturally, you guys are coming up on a kind of a structure which is yours, and it sounds really cool. But what you're actually doing, and your signature, I think, is the topics you're talking about. You're talking about real deep shit. Yeah. You're talking about things that I've not heard other singers talk about. Not since maybe people like Sinead O'Connor or Dolores from Cranberries. Not those are some of my favorite singers of all time. That's what you're going in, but you're doing it like now at a time where some of the things you're talking about are really relevant. Why did you decide to? And what I'm saying is, like, you seem to be using music for a different reason as most people. What was that about? Why did you decide? Was it conscious? Did you know you were doing that?
I don't think I knew that I was doing it, but now I do. But I think when I'm writing, you write and that's it, and something comes up and you say it.
Yeah.
I didn't in the beginning know what I was talking about, but I think that there was a lot of emotion around things that I had been through, and that just naturally came out. I mean, that's it's just a process in creating. What you feel comes out.
Yeah. But it's so honest, and that's the thing that a lot of artists, I feel like, if I'm working with an artist in the studio, like I feel like there's one part making them feel good so they can perform, right? Cool. The other part is getting truth out of them. And that's the hardest thing to get out of a singer or a writer in a studio. Like, they might come with a brilliant top line melody, they might come with a great hook, but then what the song's about is kind of it's wishy-washy, but not there. But you actually have hooks and all that stuff, and it's a strange thing that the hooks are good, they're the colour that's going to make the song.
Thank you.
But the stuff you're talking about is really deep. And so that's the thing, when most people it's like, oh, that hook's good, play it again, oh, that hook, the catchiness gets you stuck in, right? But with you, it seems to be another thing. It's like, no, I want to know what she says next. I want to know what she's going through.
Thank you.
And that is like really strangely, who does that?
Well, I mean, there's one of my, I'm a big fan of like Bibi Rexha, and I think that she is doing that to a large degree. And I think that people who are writing things like, Ariana Grande, One Last Time, you kind of forget what it's really about, and then you slow it down, and all of a sudden it's like, it's actually about the fact that this person's being like, I'm awful, and one last time will you stay with me? So I think, but I get what you're saying, and I think, I was so influenced by Americana, by like rock, by Jimmy Eat World and Jack's Mannequin, and they wrote about things like cancer and dying and cheating, and because they were going through it, and I think it's possible that in the pop world, because of that the amazing 90s, maybe I don't know, but maybe people like me who think maybe we need to fit in order to kind of go through that machine. Maybe we think that we can't write about things that are so heavy. But I think that you can, and I think it's about how you phrase it.
Yeah.
You know, when I write about whatever it is that I write about, even if it's sex, I mean, I never really overtly say like, this is about sex. You just paint a picture, but I mean, I'm glad that you like it. That's a big compliment. So thank you.
So let go, storm could be coming, so I lay low. If you miss me, then you should say so. Do you see through my fears? I know a storm could be coming, so I lay low. If you miss me, then you should say so. Do you see through my fears?
The biggest compliment I think that you could maybe get in music is that when someone wants to make a video to say farewell to a friend, or someone wants to make a video to say I love you to a friend,
Yeah,
that
that's
they use
special.
your song. Or they're going through something and they want to say, look, I'm going through this. I don't know how to say it, but Evelyn does.
Yeah,
You know,
that was my life,
is like,
right?
wow.
Yeah. When you're like, I don't know how to say I love you, so here's a song by Death Cab for Cutie. And I mean Johnny Resnick
new language, right?
It's a totally new language.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any other way of expressing.
Well, that's why I think it's
anything.
really important when new artists come through, that they see the value in they're talking about their real life, because that one story might actually be someone else's story that helps them that day.
Yeah.
Like you've had a life of like dealing with like mental problems, not mental problems, but like mental well-being.
Completely mental. The best
You've
of
been
us are.
crazy.
Yeah.
I've been crazy.
I've been
We've all been
crazy.
crazy.
No, I mean it's true. You're right. I've had
To deal with
horrific.
that stuff in music is like, it's so important for like the artists come through like that, you know.
And we've had some overdoses and deaths and suicides, in particular in the last few years in our industry and in film as well. And I think it's a really prominent issue. But yeah, no, I've really struggled to keep control of my life and my emotions for a really long time. And you can really hear that in the music. And it's starting to get lighter now, the music and the content, which I really like.
Do you think at a point, you'll get to a point where you're just like, man, I started off so heavy, maybe I'm gonna just, I'm gonna do some really light songs now.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I think that's been part of that healing process. And again, as I say, it's very
Because it would be a lie
self-absorbed.
if you weren't really feeling.
Oh, totally, and people would know. People would know. But I think the great thing about the industry at the moment, this sort of whole Wild West scenario that we have with, this streaming and all of those things, that massive conversation that we're all having, is that there are artists on the indie pop, electro pop circuit in particular that I really listen to, who are saying what they want to say. Bea Miller and all of them. I really think that there are some really incredible artists out there who really have something to say and are saying it because they have the creative control now. There isn't, that's what the amazing thing that's changed. And I think major labels are still necessary, absolutely. I think the machine is still a necessary thing because it's, you have to have both.
Well, what's the really craziest thing is that, and it's been this weird war that's been raging on for a long time, and the artists are always the kind of foot soldiers that kind of perish during that war. But the strangest things that have happened now, I mean, if you're an independent company and you've got like 5 artists signed to you, and you just put their albums out or singles out like regularly, just putting their videos up, the songs, if you're just doing that, you don't actually need a lot to actually be kind of doing well these days.
I mean, apparently so.
But it's like, you would have thought that, because a few years ago it looked like, man, no record companies are making any money, so then no artists are getting any help, and then everyone's just alone and everyone's having to do it. But now it seems like, because the world of everything is Instagram, it's all the social media.
Shifted.
YouTube seems to be a bit dying a death a little bit, because it's so, now you can't just have a YouTube strategy, you have to have an Instagram fueling a YouTube strategy, and Instagram makes it hard because they won't allow you to indent the video. And so it's like, God, so their war is detrimental to us.
Yeah.
So we're always like, as the artists, we're always the kind of fuck, you know, like YouTube's changed its algorithm again.
Yeah.
YouTube's just kicked all of us off. We're not allowed to make any money. You know, like they just do these things. You know? But we still keep going, and we find paths and we find ways to promote ourselves. But now, because there's such a kind of overflood, you know, with that whole thing of like everyone going, well, everyone can put their own record out. Like, okay, cool. But then that ends up making it like impossible to find and harder to SEO.
Yeah.
So you're right. And I never thought I would have came to the point. I don't think I ever said that there was never a need for labels. I always kind of said there's
you've always championed
absolutely a need for a label,
doing
a label who does it right, who doesn't just go out there and sign 20 artists
and shove them anywhere, and for sure.
Or has 400 artists, and they've all got 400 artists, 20 staff members working on them. It's still not enough, you know. So it's like, it's like the way they've worked hasn't been, but now more than
you can really see those strategies now, I think. With those new revenue streams and you know the power of all of. I think
it's a reason to actually do it right as a label. You know? Like because it doesn't make any sense anymore now if you do, because like that whole thing of like anyone can release, that means like, okay, well then don't just sign anyone. For sure. And now when you do sign, you have to release them. Because you're losing money if you don't, because anyone could release. So why not release them? So that actually now they are forced, like the fate has kind of almost forced them to be a little bit more ethical, a little bit more cleverer. So what I was going to say to you is then, what's your kind of feeling towards the strategy then? Are you like, well look, we've got our thing down, we're going to go towards a major, or we're going to go take an independent, retain our rights and see how it goes, and then maybe go to a major? Like, what's the actual... What's the roadmap, do you think?
Oh God! I mean, we talked about this probably last year, and I think my strategy was so much more crude. I've just teamed up with two really prolific people in the industry, in film, TV, music, and in music production, and they're this insane dynamic duo. I'm really excited about it. So I think that the strategy at the moment. We're just kind of finishing off the production, and then we're going to do mix and master, and then I think obviously videos and all of that stuff, which we're already working on, and styling, colors, photo shoots, all of that kind of really important brand stuff. I'll probably set up. I've sort of been looking at and been speaking to my lawyers about setting up a label to release under first. Absolutely, but as you know, one of my mentors is quite high up in the industry and runs some really amazing things. And I think so. I'm kind of talking to major type people about what can happen. But I think for now, I feel that we may end up using sync if we can. To push the music as well. I'm kind of rambling now. So I think, so anyway, to kind of wrap up the answer to that question, I think the strategy for now is to move forward with the intention of being absolutely independent and in control. I've started setting up meetings with some really amazing major indies and people who really champion, especially with artists that I really identify with, how they retain their independent control here in London. And then I think that if the time comes and the right conversations had and the right offers on the table, then we'll do that. But for me, that it all depends on strategy, and it depends on team. And my team, I love them to pieces. We've bled for this whole thing, and we've spent a lot of money doing it. We've invested a lot into this, a lot of time, a lot of everything. So I think as a team, obviously I'm at the moment the one who's really driving that decision forward. But I think as a team, I'll eventually go to them and be like, guys, these are the two ways we can do it. I think we should do.
Well, it's really forward thinking that you had the just the kind of foresight to realize that it all gets done by building a team. Like,
oh, huge. Oh yeah, it's all about your team.
Even if it's friends, even if it's like someone who's like your close friend. But even like, I always say this to young people starting out, like, if your friend is really into it and they're driving you to gigs, like, make them your manager. Make them your kind of like even to the point where give them a percentage of the gig money. Like, give them,
for sure.
Make it monetary for them as well. Because
you have to have people who believe in you.
Yeah, I always think like if you're a band coming out now, it's like, don't worry about the whole splits of money and all that shit, you know.
I don't even bother. I mean, obviously I do, but I just split it straight down. Yeah, I'm like, I don't care.
Whatever even if you had like 6-7 people and you were trying to build something crazy like that, like, you're, by having everyone make it equal, like you push it equal, you know, by having like, there's that indecision thing of like, oh, I don't know if this, and obviously it's really hard because you do have to find the right people. Yeah. You know, like there's so many people out there like, oh, yeah, I'm a music manager. Like, oh, well, you know, you have to know the
we don't want to talk to you unless you have a manager.
Yeah, I think the best.
You're like, mate, could you?
Yeah, the best people are definitely people you've known for a while. Are people who have been like just coming to your shows and interested in you and not, you know, jumping on it and be like, whoa, you know. Actually just showed real interest and then oh, you know, let's do this as a team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a healthy mix is good, you know, and I'm really, really excited about this because we've got some people who, as I said, are super prolific who are backing it, but I've also got some of my favorite people in my whole world who are like, you know, beside me and behind me, and we're all doing it together, and it really is the team that makes it. You have to have a team, and this is the thing, like, label or not, you need great people around you. Whether you are a label, whether it is a publisher, whatever, you need that team. You know, I've gotten to the point now where I'm so relieved that I'm teaming up with these guys, because I was getting to the point where I was like, I actually can't produce myself anymore because I'm way too close to what I'm doing, and and I think, you know, as an artist, I had to really have to step back a little bit, and that's I think it's a healthy business decision.
I thought you were going to say, like, I can't do it anymore because I'm too busy, which is obviously a big thing.
That's part of it, but like,
it's actually really, you know, honest as well if you can say that I'm too close to it, because that's a thing that's really hard to do. You know, it's really
and I just said to the guys, you know, they sort of said, you know, can you do this as you're going at the moment? And I kind of looked at them and I said, yes, but I don't have the skill set to do what I know you guys can do. And they were like,
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions are the thing that I think a lot of people have trouble doing, and I've went through this multiple times, is the whole doing it all yourself, right? Which is great to a point, because it's very good to know the jobs of other people. It's good to book your own gigs for a while, so you know how that's done. So if you take someone on board and they do it, like, you can see how good they are or bad they are, you know, like, so you don't waste time. But there's this thing that a lot of people, I think, get caught up in, and it's the whole, like, the kind of minutiae of all the little things, you know.
Oh, you mean as artists when we're running it ourselves? Yeah. Like, I have to be in everything.
Yeah, I have to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah. No, I think
that is
one of my biggest pieces of advice for anyone who's kind of running their own, you know, label business, you know, like running your own record, at least up to a point until, you know, labels or publishers can take it further, is you really, sometimes you just have to back off. Like, if you're a mix engineer but you're producing the track and someone else is mixing it, you got to take off your mixing engineer hat and just let him do his job.
But also, like, being not so this is a thing I see all the time. It's super hardcore to watch, because it's like, I've done it for years, and it's actually something that I had to conquer, because it's a real mental illness to do this to yourself. But it's the whole it's the
back to that mental thing.
It's like, I felt like I went through such crazy shit with myself mentally doing this. It's where you beat yourself up about something. Like, I've done things where I went into the studio, like that whole thing of where you had an idea of what the song's going to turn out to be, and it's this expectation you create. Instead of being like, well, today should just go how it goes. And then, but
I really wanted to write a pop song.
Or you deliver something, and then everyone else goes, no, I think you're crazy, dude. This is great. Like, what's wrong with you? And then you're, no. And then I've had to, like, hear the track, like, years later, when it's been played at a party or something, and everyone's been like, what the fuck? You didn't let this go on a record?
Yeah.
Like, you are fucking mental. That's happened to me so many times that it's just like, oh, I am mental. I'm genuinely mental.
Oh no, I'm really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that whole thing of just be easy on yourself. Like, let it go. Like, you know, like there's a process of actually you think that you're actually I've got these standards, you know. You think that you're trying to do that, but what you're really saying is, I'm so scared to fail that I won't put this track out.
That I've set the bar this high, and
if you put the track out and people hate it, at least you like kind of can go, I was right on that. If you don't put the track out, and then people
you'll never know.
Hear it years later and they go, that was amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
And, you know, and I think a really big thing about this is that, you know, you're a business person. This is a business. At the end of the day, you are a creative, and sorry, I'll put it back on myself because I think that's healthier. You know, the way I see it is, I'm a business owner. I'm also a creative.
It's a very mature way to think as well. Like, some people don't even think that.
I think that
or even know that they're a business. Some of them might even go, dude, I'm the artist. I'm not a business. No, I'm the artist.
If we want to be artists and we don't want to be business people, that is a choice. But if we
probably the wrong industry.
Well,
don't try release music then. Just
I think it's healthy to respect the commerce of our creativity, and I think it's important. If one does not wish to make it so businessy, either have someone else do it or don't make it about that. Make it about creativity, and it's very likely that will bring revenue by itself because it's all about the art. But the way it's worked for me has been to respect the commerce and to bring in people who enhance that commerce.
Because I've seen people who go on about it like, no, I'm just this artist, man. I'm this no, and then they'll moan
there's nothing wrong with that.
But then they'll moan about every little thing, and it's like, now you're being the business person.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to control everything. I thought you were just the artist. Why aren't you just then making music and enjoying it and loving it? Because you're just the artist, right?
It's
There's
really
a part of you gotta let go. You gotta let go. You gotta let people. If you're not a business person, don't do the business, but you gotta then get business people who you trust. It doesn't have to be business.
That's that team thing.
Corporate kind of.
This is where a label's absolutely integral, or a publisher, or a major indie, or just a team or your own label who are working on that. Your own team who are working on that label with you. This is where you get to step back as a creative. I get to step back as a creative, and my team, who are now part of that whole fold. We can all do what we do best, and that's where the commerce, I think, comes. But I think it's totally okay. You know, I wish that I was more. It's all about the music, because it is for me. Of course it is. It's about.
I think that just goes without saying if you're a real artist. It's like,
Well, am I real though? Am I? No, I mean, I think it is. I think that but I think. It's just my approach. I guess my approach is just there's a part of me that also has that, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe very stupid kind of business head that.
Yeah, because you've like kind of had.
I've done the whole corporate
thing.
It's
really important for people to have like a bit of experience in, and it sounds really weird to try to give that advice, but it's just like, man, try to just do a gig. Look at the amount of business transactions that happen in just a gig. Put on your own gig. Try hire in the sound engineer. Try hire like everything.
Put on an event.
Business there. So it's like, unless if you don't want to be involved in that, then it's a case of like, okay, go and busk. Even that ends up being a business.
I mean, it's a business decision as well as a creative one. You're furthering your career, but I mean, I don't want people to, I guess, misunderstand. I really believe that it should be all about the music. It should be about your message. It should be about your experience and what you have to offer to the world. But I also think that there comes a point when you go so far with your creativity where it's like, shit, like things are about to get real, and that's where the less creative, more like slightly wanky business decisions have to come in.
I just mean from like a
maybe.
There's a thing that is, because I've been given kind of advice since my kind of story broke and I released a book.
You gave me some good advice.
It drew a lot of people to ask certain questions, and now I kind of do it a lot. And And it's kind of actually, in some ways, detrimental to my own creative time because I spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most common things that I end up getting is from them is that they're how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, how to do that, and there's so many things, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of is like, it's like, whoa, you're actually dangerously close to forgetting that you should just enjoy music.
Absolutely.
Like, you know,
yeah.
and if you do really just enjoy the music, then like if you're having fun and you're playing, people will see that.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing more infectious.
You'll attract
actually,
everything that you need to you by just loving it.
I think there's a lot of people who, after a couple of years of doing it, they develop kind of bitterness, and that keeps people away. Like they develop that kind of like, I've been doing it for 10 years now, and I've done this festival, and things haven't taken off. Like, and it's because of this happened and that, and it's like, maybe it might be because you've disconnected from the pure joy. Because I think any real musician I think you can't really lose, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're really happy about the process and going into the studio and liking the smell of these things.
Does it smell that bad?
It does smell a bit bad.
Does it?
It smells like...
Is it you or is it?
I'm like smelling my own breath.
Sexy.
But no, but like to be in like a studio rehearsing, to be on the road, and like there's a lot of like kind of hard stuff that happens. But if you actually look at it like, no, every day on the road is like I'm with great friends, we're having a blast. Like, every time I perform, I see people's faces, their eyes. If you're not enjoying that, if you can come off stage and go, why wasn't this A&R here? Like, why was it? You know, it's like, and immediately that
you've got to love what you do.
The amount of times that when I'm helping people like that and they have that attitude, it immediately makes me go, I feel like I can't help you.
Yeah.
You're actually pushing me away, and I'm here just to help. You know.
Yeah.
And that's they don't really realize on a broad scale. We're like magnets, right? If we make music that we love, people will love it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's business right there. That's the brilliant case of business. Is like, if you do what you love, you're releasing a thing that you love, people are going to catch on. Does it have to be 1 million views or 1 million No.
Yeah.
And that's where people are hard on themselves and they go, well, I need this label, I need that, and then they jump towards getting a label on board too soon, or they jump towards getting this big
I'm so guilty of that. I always run before I can walk.
Yeah, I think we all do. It's almost like a part of the being an artist, but eventually
the need to
never
get it
feel
right.
Like you're where you could be, but it's almost like no. I bet you're exactly where you are, and you're not going to get past that point until you learn that it was just supposed to be about loving it and having fun, you know. And it's really crazy because But the thing about when I was listening to, I can't remember what exact song it was, but there was a song, a specific song, and I think it was the one I was talking about earlier, where the vocals were very spacey.
Now you know, maybe. Yeah, and it was really it was well produced, but you could hear it was demo. You need to hear the others, the latest stuff actually.
Yeah, but it was so. I don't know if it was just your headphones were so good or something.
They were good headphones.
I remember listening to. I just mixed a track, and I remember listening to one of my own beats back in your headphones. I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is so dope.
I'm great.
Yeah, I was like yeah. Yeah, but no, but there was definitely something that, and I think that song kind of sums up what I'm trying to say. Is the feeling that I got from chatting to you that day and listening to those songs was that I wasn't sitting there going, oh God, your questions are annoying, or like you're coming across that you don't love this.
I remember you saying that. I remember you being like, I took a listen to your stuff. You were like so relieved because I didn't want you to, I think I went to the bathroom or something, and you were like so glad that you didn't come back, and I didn't have to be like
you're actually
and I was like, oh, this is nice of him. That's good. That's a good start.
Because I wouldn't have been able to, because I'm really bad at lying now, because I spent so much time lying. I did that whole California scheming thing. That I just haven't been able to lie.
Lying was your business, huh?
Yeah, lying was a big part of the business. And if you're in the music industry, especially at that time, marketing, everything was a big part of lying. You know? But lying was a big part of the business. Well, I think everyone is. Takeshi 6ix9ine goes and gets tattoos all over his face. All the, this is marketing. You know, they're not really dying unless they really want to. But I digress. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have been able to lie and say, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I was well in the frame of going, all right. Before I listened to it, I was like, okay, this might be tough, if you're genuinely trying to help people, I think that the number one thing you have to do is be super honest.
Yeah.
And so I was more than willing to be like, okay, look, so there's all this you can do to get your voice better. There's all this you can do to get your production better. And it was like, oh, I couldn't hide. I was stoked with that, so I had to say, you know. But yeah, there was that song that kind of I feel sums up a lot, and it made me feel like, oh God, thank Christ, this is someone who's doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And you can hear.
I hope so.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So what do you think the next step is? When do you think? How many songs on the record that you've got so far? Because I think I heard maybe 8 or something, and maybe you 6.
Oh no, yeah, those.
That sounded like an album there already.
Oh yeah, no, there's probably like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 albums worth of material now. Yeah, I wrote a lot, and I wasn't ready to finish. And then I wrote another one the other weekend again.
You've got a catalogue ready for your first release.
I have a total catalogue.
Hey guys, I'm going to put these 5 albums out. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, not thinking you're not good enough definitely helps. No.
It's amazing if you're going forward to publishers.
Yeah, I've had some offers.
I mean, I've said this the other night to an artist who's just doing one song here, one song there, working with people, you know. And I was like, why don't you do a whole bunch of songs? Get like a whole list of songs that you're writing on, and then approach publishers there. You've got 5. Like you got 3 or 4 albums, 5 albums worth of songs. I mean, if I'm a publisher, I'm gonna go, this is a prolific 1 team and 2 lyricist and singer. Like, why would I not want to work with them? You know.
I mean, I think we threw a lot out, and you can really hear the development. I mean, I was like truly shit, and I'm probably still pretty shit, but like better, like the higher end of shit. But it's so nice to myself.
that whole
I keep being told I can't sell myself well, and that people will be like, can I listen to your stuff? And I'm like, no, you probably shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't. I recommend that you don't.
I just pictured you as
in the boardroom of the major.
And you're like, right, okay.
Where's the music? I don't have it because it's awful.
So can you play something in? No.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Just take my word for it.
Yeah, So what was your question? Sorry, I digressed.
I was going to say. So what do you think you're then? When are you going to put one of the albums out? For Christ's sake. For Christ's sake,
we're going to start with single for the first thing, and then I think that will determine what happens where and when.
Why don't you do if for the first album, just do a single every month for a year?
How many songs?
I mean, you'd have to have 12 songs on the record.
Yeah, I mean, it may every month, possibly every 6 to 12 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, because 6 to 8 is a really good marketing sign. But I'm guessing
it would give us a lot more time to.
If you had maybe
promo and market.
Before the first one went out, so if you started like a little bit earlier, and then while you know what I mean, so you're halfway through the month, you could start the next promotion while you're still doing that. So it's kind of like
the plan.
Overlapping.
Yeah, February 15th is the release date.
By the time you got to the, I can just imagine the media buzz on the 4th and 5th, like this, what?
Yeah.
Like, and then the 6th one, like whoa, 6th single, and they're all dope, and then 7th one, holy shit, okay, this person's putting out a single per month. And then by the 9th, 10th, 11th, by the Christmas one, then you know the album is gonna do, because you've got then people on this journey for a whole year. It's like, wow, who's done that? I don't know if anyone's actually.
I don't know anyone that's done that yet. But I think that I guess I have in my mind how I'd like it to go
before halfway through the year.
I mean, possibly if the music's good enough, and if we're good.
It's good enough.
Well, the first release date is the 15th of Feb. It's a very important date, and from there, I think it'll tell its own story, and it'll tell us. I think this project will tell us what it wants us to do, without sounding cryptic or weird.
Well, if it's any of those songs I was hearing, they kind of all told a story of one person's personal development. So that shit right there, especially in the modern era now, with what really connects with people in the world, seems to be vulnerability and showing your shame. Is a huge thing. If you're just like honest with like just your songs are, so I think it's got a real chance of like catching on.
Thank you. Well, I love what I do, and I think I'm very privileged to be doing it. I really feel very lucky, and I don't take that for granted. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see indeed. Well, thanks so much for.
Thank you for having me on your clean couch.
Yeah, this one's probably going to be.
I'm glad that you got rid of the other one.
Yeah.
That condemned thing.
That's got burned now.
Has it?
Yeah.
Did you put on a hazmat suit?
Yes. A lot of people sitting down, dropping wind on it. I can ask them to drop fire, they just come down and drop wind. You know?
I mean,
dropping 7 shades of wind. You know? Anyway. End on a high note.
Yeah. Do you want me to clap again?
No, we don't clap at the end. It's just the start of the clap. But if you want to give me a round of applause, that's.
Here's to you and your couch.
Oh,
Mr. Gavin Bain, everybody.
Alright, so that's Evelyne. What's your Jess is your real name? What's the all the social medias?
Evelyne, EvelynOfficial.com for the website. Evelyne Instagram, all of it. Very, very boring.
All right.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously catch me at brainsofacloud.com, brainsofacloud. Just everything brainsofacloud. It's kind of it just gets a bit monotonous.
Yeah.
And you know, / brainsofacloud. Just type in brainsofacloud for Christ's sake. And stay tuned to more music hackings. You can go back through and watch all the 9 episodes so far, and we'll keep going with some more. And if there's anything specific that you want to know about making it in the music industry, then comment, and we'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace out.